which I believe was an outstanding match to open the show. And we talked about that. It was a high energy. Top Flight is a team that is must see TV. And of course, anytime Jericho and MJF are on the screen together, it is a gold segment, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, let's really quickly here, man. Let's just focus in on the placement of this match on the
Yeah.
card. I think it was beautiful. I thought AEW did a great job. Clearly getting Jericho on screen as somebody who is a recognizable, bankable star, and pairing him with MJF, who is AEW's future. I have a feeling I'm not alone when I say that I see the ability to carry a company. In MJF. I think that he can be a
Yeah.
top guy who can not just be in an upper echelon, but be the guy
Right.
who carries a company, can hold the title and draw fans. And so I think pairing him with Jericho in this opener was an excellent idea by AEW. It got everybody kind of their eyes on that tandem. And then, like you said, SPD, Top Flight, that this team quickly is becoming one of those crews that every time you see them in the ring, you become more and more impressed by them. And I don't want to speak in hyperbole here, but I feel like Top Flight their matches are shaping up a lot like the Young Bucks, where no matter what team you put them in the ring with, they're able to put on an exciting tandem offense that's high speed, fast paced. People are buzzing about this crew, and I know that there's a lot of young teams in AEW right now. AEW is really pushing that youth movement, SPD. But for me, no team hits quite like Top Flight. I think that they've got it all.
I couldn't agree more. And they look so experienced, way ahead of their time. They're so much fun to watch. They're very smooth in the ring. One of the highlights of the match for me was that the Darius had this combo move set. He did this something off the top rope, and then he did this standing Spanish fly, which alone is an amazing move, and then right into a tope suicida, then the drop kick off the top rope. I was like, one after another, after another, after another. And I'm like, wow, these moves,
Yeah.
people don't realize they probably take years to master, let alone to hit 4 or 5 of these in a row. And it was just they're so impressive. Top Flight, I think, has such a bright future ahead of them. As we talked before, they are way ahead of their time. They're mature in the ring. They got it all. And then with people like the Hardys Matt Hardy and the Young Bucks kind of looking over them and teaching them the ropes of how to really handle themselves on the main stage, they are in great hands. I can't wait to see what's ahead of them.
Yeah, I think that this is one of the things that I love, and you threw that tweet up there a second ago. This is one of the things I love about what AEW is doing is they're integrating in their veterans with their young teams. You see, Billy Gunn is with with the Gun Club, and obviously serving as a mentor to his kids there. But Matt Hardy, like with Private Party, like you mentioned, and Jericho here with MJF, and I think people forget because of how polished MJF is. he's less than 25 years old, guys, and yes, he seems like he's got everything going for him. He seems like he's never rattled, and that's one of the things we love about MJF is his ability to perform no matter what they ask out of him, and that's going to be something that's going to serve him well over the course of wrestling, because we know as wrestling fans there will definitely be some duds along the way as far as storylines go, but MJF's shown an ability to turn bad material into great material. So I understand that people might think that MJF doesn't need to be paired with anybody because he's already a star.
Right.
But again, Jericho's 50 years old. He's been in this business for 30 years, and he's learned how to manipulate fans. He's learned how to play off the crowd. Jericho, over the course of his career, has been a successful babyface and a successful heel. So pairing MJF with a guy like Jericho, who can teach him versatility, teach him tricks of the trade, help him navigate some of the obvious curveballs that are going to happen throughout his career, I think is going to be a really good pairing. And we know here at Dynamite Download, we see the writing on the wall. SPD, you called this a while ago that you felt like Jericho should start to transition into that leadership role, kind of be that godfather of the crew. And yes, he needs to be in the ring, backing it up. But you mentioned it's almost like he's not like the army, the general, like the the war, the battle guys, the crew is not battling for him. The general is the one who has to fight all these battles. So I think SPD, seeing Jericho in a situation where he's clearly the mentor to MJF, even begrudgingly, I really like that pairing. And I think that long term, it's going to be that the baton being handed off from Jericho to the new leader, MJF. I love where they're going with that. I think it's a great pairing. And you could see in the ring tonight, right? Top Flight, for all the praise we give them, for being so fast paced, for being so smooth in the ring, it could go off the rails if you don't know how to work with that style. You and I talked about when FTR went up against Varsity Blondes, how it felt at times FTR's slow it down, kind of grind it out pace, conflicted a little bit with that high energy of Griff Garrison and Flying Brian Jr. So this was a match to me that showed how two different styles can work together. MJF and Jericho are not going to be doing, Spanish flies. That's not what they do. So being able to blend those two styles, I loved this pairing, and it shows obviously the veteran mindset of Jericho, but it shows how mature, like you talked about, beyond his years, MJF is, being able to be that sort of that stabilizing force, that grounding force that Top Flight can use as the platform for their offense. They really helped these guys get over this match. Although MJF and Jericho came out on top, as they should,
right,
because they are the leaders of the Inner Circle, and we need to respect the Inner Circle. I think that people are starting to forget what the Inner Circle has done for AEW over the last year. This was a great starting point
for sure. I mean, the styles definitely worked very well together. Obviously completely different styles, and it's so impressive. MJF is so damn good as a heel. He always finds a way to cheat. He always finds a way to do just really, rub you the wrong way, whether it be a distraction or what he was doing. He was choking them in the ring behind the ref's back. So that is just, heel tactics 101, and it works so good with him. And he's learning so much, I'm sure, from Jericho. And the finish to the match was great too. I loved how it spilled into the crowd, and MJF was able to take the win with a little help from Jake Hager. Overall, for me, the match was definitely an elite. I don't, Jericho keeps continuing to impress me. He is, to me, he's in great shape for where he's at in his career. He is still taking top rope bumps, which is very surprising to me that he's taking these top rope bumps. He doesn't have to do that, but man, he's just doing it over and over again. I thought he was going to get a suplex off the top rope, but he still took a big bump off the top rope. But he is definitely leading by example. It's fun to watch. It'll be, as we talked about, must-see TV next week when he's on commentary.